Well, hey friends, welcome back. Today's the day. We're hanging the Costco garland, but because it's me, you know I can't just hang a garland. We have to bring this very fully into my Maximalist era. And so we are going to be enhancing this, and you are not going to believe the transformation because it is a good time. So last year, if you watched that video, I assembled my Costco garland glow up on my dining patio table, and it was a beast to hang. I will link that video below, but I walk you through a very detailed step-by-step of how I do it. This year, I'm going to do it a little bit differently because I actually think that for me, I want to get it in place and then enhance it from there. So other than my Costco garland, I want to show you what else I am using, what I have purchased and what I have foraged. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use all of these, but I do have all of them on hand because I just wrapped all of my holiday installations. So first and foremost, my Twigs. This is Cornice Midwinter Fire. These are great. You can see right here, they're very red at the tips. And then do you see how they kind of brighten up as you go towards the base? I love these sticks in pretty much any arrangement that I do. Now, the next thing is something you probably haven't seen before. Now, typically you see red berries. This is an ilex. However, I snagged some orange berries because if you remember when I did my wreath, I actually tucked dried oranges in there. And so I thought this might be fun to play with. And for whatever reason, the orange ilex twigs, they had a much better branching structure this year. In fact, I was talking to my assistant and we were both like, what happened to the red ilex berries this year? Because they were significantly shorter and a little bit more ethereal, ephemeral, if you will. But I am loving this beast of an orange ilex berry. As some of you know, I have how tall is that thing? Like 60 feet tall, a massive magnolia in our backyard. It actually belongs to my neighbor, but it drapes very generously into our front garden. I used a ton of these in my wreath, and so I wanted to bring it up into my garland. So I went out back and I snatched a bunch of magnolia branches. Last but not least, I have a bunch of miscellaneous items. This is a Lotus, probably the rainbow variety. Truth be told, it's just from my neighbor's yard, but it has the most gorgeous kind of raspberry bronze on it. So I snatched a bunch of this to play with. And then also behind me, this is a giant box of leftovers. So we have blue Atlas cedar. I have some incense cedar. That was really fun to play with this year. And then I also have 3 different types of eucalyptus. So I just grabbed all the leftovers because even if I have little tiny, 4, 5-inch pieces, those add really incredible volume when you're doing a massive garland. Now, a lot of you on the internet got very scared for me because I was attaching my garland to the gutter. And guess what? It was fine. It was fine. Our gutters, in truth, Brian has actually partially slid down our roof and landed on our gutters, and those bad rides held him like a little blessing up there. My goodness, talk about something you don't want to see is your partner flying down the roof. That was very alarming. But in all truth, our gutters are really securely adhered, and we have a ton of gutter spikes going along, which I actually think makes a difference. So for me, this works. For you, it may not. But we're going to get up there and we're going to start hanging some garland. Oh, and what I'm going to use is I'm going to use some heavy gauge wire. So this is the heavier of the wire. You can get it at a lot of craft supply shops, but the 22 gauge is way more sturdy. Don't try to use like the 24 or the 26. It's too thin. This thing will come crashing right down. So one of the first things I usually do is I stretch my garland out and I find the midpoint, because what's funny about my porch is the midpoint is directly above the door, and then it'll hang kind of evenly down either side. So I mark my midpoint and I begin by hanging that heaviest point first. Friends, I've been advised that this side is 3 feet shorter than the other side. Well, guess what? We are going for finished, not perfect this season. And so I'll just probably cut this one short and then use all of those gorgeous greens to dress up other parts of the porch and my house. So I think what I want to do is I want to start with my Magnolia branches because these are going to be one of my most statement-y items and I want to make sure that they're evenly spaced. I'm going to cut these off so I have about maybe 3 inches to play with. I find that that's a nice length for getting these stuck into the garland. I have my Magnolia pretty evenly spaced going across the top. I think what I might do in like maybe this weekend is I might carry it down the other side because I want this to feel so full, and then I'll kind of taper it off as I get to the ends. But because it is starting to downpour, I'm going to cut to the next step in the dance here, which is bringing in some red, bringing in some of this like burnt raspberry. And the reason I want to do this is because I'm still very green and I want to start building a bit more volume in my garland. So I'm going to go back through with my Lakothaway. And what I'm trying to do is I'm only trying to move my ladder once per pass. So it isn't like me constantly moving it. So you're going to notice I start from one end and I work to the other. So I move it once, and then I'm going to start from this end and work to the other side to finish this round off. We are back. We had a massive windstorm and the garland held tight. Also, PSA, if you have a windstorm, it is like the perfect moment to go and gather some materials for your own maximalist, naturalist garland. Should we do a fit check? This is what the kids do. You ready? Kirkland Signature, oversized hoodie, limited edition. Kirkland Signature, sweatpants, also limited edition. And Blundstones because we're still doing work today. What's really amazing about going through a windstorm is you can see how it holds up, and then also you get to shove more goodies in there. I've had a little bit of time to kind of assess, and here's the deal. Do you see that one spot right there? Let me go up and point. Right here. I want to briefly touch on the difference between a really expensive garland and a Costco garland. What I have found with my Costco garland is they seem to be assembled in much more of a hurry. It's a much more of an assembly line, less boutique-y, which is why I always start with this as a base layer and then I amp it up with all sorts of other good stuff. And I'm saying this with experience because I also do holiday installations and I order garland from my wholesale floral supply shop. One thing about these garlands is I noticed that the stem pieces, like the little branches, are actually much thicker than on the gardens that I special order. And also the wiring is much further apart. So what ends up happening is sometimes you get a bit of a looser assembly because they're saving on both using bigger material and having the wire spaced farther apart. That's why I go in and I have these little zhuzhy bits that I do. I also want to bring you in closer because I want to show you another thing that I showed you last year, but I haven't really showed you this year. And it's essentially because they are hurry scurry wrapping these garlands for mass assembly, you sometimes have to fluff them out, which actually creates a beautiful opportunity to shove more little things in them. We're over here on one of the ends, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. Do you see how it gets like really skinny right in here? So you've got beautiful pieces coming out, and then it's like, what happened? Well, this is where I will take an extra 20 minutes and go through the garland. And do you see what I'm doing here? I'm just like pulling them from inside that wire. Let's see. See how it's just coming out super gently from inside that wire? And then the other thing that that does is it loosens it up a bit in here so that I can come in after the fact and I've got a little bit of slack here where I can stick in branches and all sorts of accent material. So do you see how now I've got fluffy bits kind of coming out here? I'm also probably going to go up top here. Gosh, this is actually really hard to do one-handed, but let me just do one more. There we go. So you really get the sense of how much more wild and dramatic this all of a sudden becomes. Now, fixing that wand bend is going to require just a little extra effort. And I have these long leftover midwinter fire twigs. These are probably 2.5 feet long. I'm not going to use this whole length, but what I'm going to do is probably insert a good 8 to 10 inches along the wire so that I straighten out that bend, because right there is where the end of one of the branches comes down. And so I'm just going to feed this all the way through to give it a little bit more stability and prevent my garland from having that weird V shape that's in there. Bonus points, I actually am kind of liking this stick hanging out here. Okay, that's interesting. I think I'm going to push this in a little bit more because I feel like this part is still a wee bit long, but we're gonna have a good little play with some things. So I have all of my magnolia hung very evenly spaced, and I wanted it to be organic. So I faced some up, some down, some right in the middle. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I have uneven garland ends, and we're going for done, not perfect. And so I'm just gonna clip off this end, and I'll use the leftover cedar pieces to like zhuzh up this big kahuna above me. I personally love an asymmetrical look. This is an asymmetrical porch. And so for me, that's a look that I enjoy, but I totally understand if that's not your jam. I think you should do what you want to do. That's what I think. But for me, I love that I'm gonna build kind of some volume here and then taper down a little bit. And so what I've been experimenting with is just tucking like 1 or 2 magnolia leaves into the garland itself as kind of a slow taper, as opposed to adding an entire cluster of leaves together on the stem. You know what's kind of cool about these little pieces? These are like the perfect little nuggets to add around the base of my candles. That's gonna be awesome. I think what I'm gonna do is I have just a little bit of Lakothway left over, and I'm gonna go back through and I'm gonna add it all the way along because we're going for big and beefy. And this, I love this Ready Bronze. I'm not going for in-your-face Christmas this year. I'm going a little bit more creative with my embellishments. So I'm gonna bring my Lakothway all the way through, really amplify it, and then taper it down this one side. Love that. And then do you see how I'm kind of like, this one is more in front, that one's more off to the side. Maybe I'll do the next one up here, kind of like draping off this way. Gorgeous. And you know what? I know some people might stick up their nose at these spent blooms, but quite frankly, I love the brown that it's bringing to this arrangement because it ties back to my miscanthus grass seed heads that are on my wreath on the front door. So one of the next layers that I always like to build in when I'm working for a client is a silver layer. And what this does is it just kind of brightens all the greens, because if you don't have something that's cool toned in there, sometimes it'll mute out and then the garland won't read from a distance. And so for me, I'm actually bringing in some of this icy blue cedar. It smells like heaven. I only have a little bit because it's left over from my client, but I just feel like even if I just scatter a few little pieces here and there along the length, it's gonna be sensational. Also, I'm gonna at this point put on gloves because I'm starting to get sticky. I'm a Christmas elf. I'm an elf. Oh my gosh, this silver, I'm telling you, it is like, ugh, that is giving me life. Do you see how it's so different? It's just like sticky. Oh, she good. She good. I wish I had more of this stuff, but we're using leftovers. I'm not buying anything new. There, I said it. Moment of truth. Is she crazy or a genius? Bow, bow. Oh man, here she goes. Oh, that looks good. It looks good. It looks good. It looks good. So you just saw me add in eucalyptus. I just used the kind of like more silver dollar traditional style because I wanted more volume. You also saw me put in branches. You know what's funny is I don't think the branches read really well on camera, but in person, they add great texture. I mean, I love a branch. And then you also saw me add in the ilex branches, which were by far the hardest to add in because they have the thickest stem. So these I typically use in container work. I'll like add them as like a mid-story for a nice holiday volume. I'll bring in usually the red ones. Those are super nice. These oranges, they have the thickest stem. And so I cut them at a little bit of an angle, the end piece at an angle to make it feel more stabby. So I could get them into that wire because it's such a big stem. That was the hardest thing to make space for. Last but not least, I have had Lotus pods kicking around the shop forever and ever. I'm going to use them here because I think they are going to be so dramatic and lovely. And if you've never seen a Lotus pod, these are just incredible. They come on this really long kind of floral stem. I probably will cut it down to, I'd say 6 inches because I find that's a really nice length for working it in. Again, I didn't have any pine cones on hand, so this is going to be our little alternative. And also, I feel like with the eucalyptus in play and bringing in a lot of oranges, something unexpected like this is totally hitting the nail on the head. Also, it could be really pretty. Friends, I am so tickled with this garland and I hope this reads on camera. What's so funny is I'm going so non-traditional with my decor this year with the teals and the oranges that throwing in a lotus pod was unexpected, but just the right touch. Here's the deal. I actually feel like it is more appropriate than putting in pine cones. However, this is the whole point of this is do what you can do with what you have. Be resourceful. Forage in your friends and your family's yard because you can take something as basic as a $20 Costco garland and just absolutely kick it up a notch and create something that is a sensational entry for any guest coming to your door during the holiday season. Okay, friends, that's going to do it for me today. I'm going to gather up all my little leftover pieces because I still have a little decorating to do inside, but I'm going to see you in the next one. And in the meantime, get out there and say hello to your garden for me.